Our final inductee this evening probably needs little introduction. He retired as one of the most successful lacrosse coaches in NCAA history and remains third in coaching victories among all divisions of men's lacrosse. 477 wins, just 150 losses, a career record of 432 and 126 in 34 years at Gettysburg, and never a losing season. His Bullets reached the national semifinal 11 times, with his 2001, 2002, and 2009 squads making it to the national championship game. His players' accolades are far too numerous to mention tonight. I could go on, but instead, ladies and gentlemen, to tell us more about his coach, Hank Janczyk, and why his career is more than worthy of this spot in the Hall of Athletic Honor, please welcome Braden Edwards to the stage.
So before I talk about Hank, I was a lowly freshman in 1985 and was terrified of every one of those football players that you saw walk up here tonight. And I can promise you there aren't 40 lacrosse players that could line up in alphabetical order. My name is Braden. I played for a coach for 4 of my 5 years here. Thank God it was only 25 grand a year then. Mrs. J, Megan, Molly, and David, on behalf of all the guys that we played with over the years, thanks for sharing your father with us. Many of us, especially of me, wouldn't be here today and wouldn't be the men we are today. In 1987, Coach came here with big aspirations and a growing family. The good news was there was nowhere to go but up. 34 years later, he created a top-notch program, has become one of the best coaches ever in collegiate lacrosse, but more importantly, he developed a lot of great young men. The wins came because we respected Hank and we would run through walls for him, not necessarily because we were the best lacrosse players. I lost my dad when I was 4 years old. Coaches to me were always surrogate fathers. I had many great coaches, but I only had one Hank Janczyk. And he single-handedly made sure I didn't blow myself up to pieces despite many of my efforts. Thanks, Coach. Hank, besides being a great coach, you changed men's lives, you made the world a better place, you were way more interested in who we were all going to become than who we were. Thanks from all of us and congratulations. I'm going to read a couple lines from some former players because I wanted other people to have a part of this event tonight. So, Earl Kite, who some of you guys know from 1985, I'm very proud to say that I was part of Coach Janczyk's first season at Gettysburg in 1988. I scored his first goal, was part of his first win versus Ithaca College. 85 guys, we got them for you. And a few weeks later, part of his first upset win over Washington Lee. We were a group of okay players that he transformed into a true team that would win games. He was a great coach, and more importantly, an amazing man. Congratulations, Coach Earl. Brian Sullivan. Coach, it's killing me not to be there tonight, but I wanted to thank you for being one of the greatest influences in my life. You were and always will be the coach and father figure none of us ever wanted to disappoint. In closing, I owe you an apology. That one Saturday morning at 6:30 a.m. goalie practices, and I was missing all the shots, you asked why I smelled like booze. I told you it was Robitussin, Coach. Sorry. Tim DeMore. Coach Jay was a great coach, mentor, and a friend. He saw potential in me that I didn't see in myself when I walked on the campus as a freshman. He taught me that hard work and discipline will pay off on the field, in the classroom. As I've said in the past, and I will always say, Coach Jay was more interested in raising respectful young men than he was worrying about wins and losses, because if you bought into his system and worked hard, those wins would naturally follow. Coach Jay had a huge impact on my life and the lives of countless other players, and this Hall of Fame award is a great honor for him. It was a pleasure to play for you, Coach. Congrats. Congrats again, Coach. Remember to drink your first beer tonight, sip your second, and politely decline the third. And the last one I'm going to read, because I think I'm on my 3-minute mark, is from Tommy Kehoe. When I was deciding to transfer from F&M, only one coach wouldn't talk to me until I officially left the Franklin and Marshall campus. From my very first interaction with him, Coach Jay has shown me how to do things the right way, how to succeed the right way. I feel burdened to succeed because he taught me so many of the fundamental lessons in achievement. He continues to serve as an example for many of us, and I feel incredibly fortunate to be one of the thousands Coach Jay has impacted throughout his career. There is no honor that could appropriately reflect his achievement in sport and leadership, and I also lack the words, but I want to say thank you for getting me in the wheelbarrow, Coach. This is probably the biggest honor ever bestowed upon me, and Coach, you deserve this, and come on up.
Well, they spelled my name wrong. Bless their hearts. Oh, dear. You know, I've been here 34 years coaching, and they spelled my name wrong. I kind of think it's funny. God bless them. Oh, dear. So there's a picture that goes on with my family as you look at it. And little William, who wasn't in the big picture, and I kind of wanted to do that, Megan and Chris Fran, my daughter Megan, her husband Chris, and my grandson Henry, David and Christy Janczyk, and their sons Grayson, Indiana, and Pierce, and then my daughter Molly and her husband David, and Jonathan and William. So if you see those pictures, I'm very, very proud of them. My wife is also in those pictures, and now I'm going to talk a little bit more about her later on. Congratulate all the other inductees and their families. I really loved listening. Sisters, that was great. A dad talking about his daughter. Awesome stuff, man. Really, really great stuff. Teammates talking about teammates. Brian, congratulations. I had the pleasure of recruiting him out of Skinny Atlas High School. He did have a great high school coach. You did a great job, Brian. I loved what you said. I loved how you said it. You're just what you always have been, a great man and a heck of a player. I'm not sure I deserve this honor, but I've gotten heavier. I'm losing my hair, and I'm losing my memory, and I'm not too sure I deserve that either, you know what I mean? As far as the memory is concerned, I've been thinking of getting a tattoo. I know you guys won't believe it. I'm thinking about putting my address on my arm. Thanks for laughing. Braden Edwards, it's been a long time with me and you. I want to thank you for the player you were, the loyalty that you live by. It's amazing to me, Braden. I've learned a lot about that. And the friend that you are to me and my family. I truly love you, as you know, and I'm very thankful for you doing that for me today. I want to thank all the ADs and the administrators in the years that I've been here, my fellow coaches, especially my great friends Barry Streeter, Bob Condon, Devin O'Neill, Nate Davis, Kaylee and Jason Padecki. I thank you guys. You're great, great friends, and I'm very, very honored to be called your friend. Coach Denali, your teams that we were able to stand on their shoulders when I came here. They started the whole process with you, really. I don't know if I've ever given you enough credit for that. But we were able to stand on the shoulders of those young men and you that you've coached. And I want you to know I'm thankful for that, for sure. I told all my assistant coaches, I was wise enough to surround myself with very smart, dedicated, and caring people who, in all honesty, from the bottom of my heart, were better coaches than I was. And they were a huge reason for the success we had. on and off the field. And I really, really love you guys, and I'm so thankful that you were part of our staff and all the things I've learned from you. I want to thank Peter Toner, who we passed the baton to, who's doing such a great job here at Gettysburg College. And I've been very impressed getting to know Pete, and he's just super too. All the parents, I was thinking of the parents that I really got to know, Mr. and Mrs. Keogh, the Dyers, such great friends, the Plantholts, Julie Denner, the McGinnises, unbelievable what you meant to our program and what you meant to me. It's so great to see you guys here today. I probably can't say enough that's in my heart of what you meant to me. To Cindy Wright and Jan and Manya and Kelly, good friends during the time I was here, and I appreciate that as well. All the players that came our way, I don't think you came here by chance. I think there was a destiny in you coming to Gettysburg College. I really believe that. I believe there was a destiny in you having the friends you have. You were able to be part of my life, and I am so, so thankful. I just can't tell you how much I love you and what you mean to me. You know, the truth is, guys, you're precious to me. You're just precious. My family's precious to me. And I want you to know, when I see you and I'm running by and I'm trying to hug you, I'm seeing your kids and everything, I wish I had an hour to spend with each and every one of you. If I'm not saying enough, if I'm not looking you in the eye enough right now, don't take it the wrong way, man. You know, just know how I feel about you. In the last year, I've lost some mentors in my life. Coach Janczyk, my coach at Hobart, who I coached with as well. Carl Runk, who was my partner at camps and maybe a great coach and one of the funniest people I ever knew. Pastor Jerry Saliba, my pastor when I coached at Colgate years ago. Mike McClinchy when I coached at Salisbury, and Tom DePalma. They were great, great people. I'm really conscious of the time. I know it's getting late, but I wanted to say, with Coach Runk, he was 90 years old when he passed away. I got to see him a lot, Coach. We used to go see Coach Janczyk for the last 2.5 years of his life. He was in a memory ward, and I got to see Coach every week. It was so awesome for me to see him. Coach Runk would come. And the last time I had lunch with Coach Runk, he was 89. We went and saw Coach, and I went and bought him a hot dog that he always liked. And he told me that he was driving from Florida. He had a place in Florida, and he was coming back here to, he lived in Maryland. And he said that he was in a town in South Carolina, Amber, South Carolina. There was a detour sign. It was in the middle of the night. He took the detour, he said. I'm sitting there listening to him. He's eating his soup and his ham and his hot dog. And he's telling me all about it. And he said that all of a sudden he hit something in the road, and it was a pig. And he got out of the car, and the pig jumped up and took off. And I'm listening, and then as he's talking, he says, this is 3 weeks ago, and I got a letter today from the Amber Police Department. I owe $811. And I'm thinking, what the heck? And he goes, I don't know what to do. So I didn't say anything for a few minutes. And then, like the unwise person I am, I finally said, Coach, if the pig got up and ran and it was in the middle of the night, how did they know you hit it? And he's eating his hot dog, and he goes, well, I think the pig squealed. And I'm sitting there looking kind of like I'm looking now, you know, holy caramba. Anyway, some of the best lines from my coaches, those coaches that they used to say to refs. Coach Janczyk used to say, if I agreed with you, we'd both be wrong. I always thought that was funny. He'd say, is it okay if I think? Because I think you should find another profession. Coach Rung said when they were playing Army, he said, hey guys, at halftime, Army's going to play with a lot of heart the second half, and if they don't, we're all in trouble. And then Pastor Saliba said one time, I bought I thought a really neat shirt, a lot of pretty colors in it, and he said to me, hey Hank, do you get a free bowl of soup when you got that shirt? Anyway, those guys were pretty funny. I want to honor the administration, not to take too long, so I want to finish up in a very short period of time here. Guys, I was never the best organizer. I was like a D+, and then Coach Winters, one of our ADs, had us take this Franklin Covey course on how to organize your daily planner. And it was great. But he said, this guy who taught it, he said, well, you got to start with the A's and B's and C's of your life. The A's were the most important things, and the B's the next important things, and the C's the least important things. And he says, here's how you do it. So he said he had this 80-yard plank, 3 feet wide, really thick, and he put it 10 feet high over 2 clothespin poles, 80 yards apart. And he put $1,000 at the end of one pole. And he said to the class, how many of you would walk this plank for $1,000? And we all said, we would. So then he took that, then he said, this is before the Twin Towers fell, everybody. He goes, what if I took that same 80-yard plank and I put it between the Twin Towers? Fastened, it couldn't fall, still pretty wide. You're 114 stories high. You're looking down and people look like ants. The wind's always blowing. How many people would walk that plank for $1 million? Nobody said they would. How about $10 million? He got up to $50 million. I'm thinking maybe I'd shimmy that sucker. I don't know, And then he said, there was a lady named Mary there, had a little son, Joey. And he said, Mary, what if I was at the other end of that plank? And I say, you walk that plank, Mary, or your young man's gonna fall. She got all teary-eyed. And she said, I'd walk the plank. And I thought about my wife, my beloved wife, who means the world to me, my life partner, my best friend. I thought about my kids, my David, my Megan, my Molly, and what I would do for them, how important they were to me. I thought about some of the people in my life that were so important, my friends, some of these kids I was coaching. And when I walked the plank, and they became my A's, everybody. So all of a sudden on Sunday night, Cindy and I, we would put our date, we had a date night, and we would always do it. I would have dates with the kids. And we'd have breakfast or lunches, and if anything came up in my schedule, I could always, already got an appointment, and that was with my kids. And we started having movie nights together and doing all kinds of things, and we worked hard on our little farm together. And listen to me, everybody, I so much preferred being with them than anybody. I loved being with them, and the best thing about it is they knew it. And I knew it too. And so the A's went from there. It's about relationships, folks. The relationships you have, that you honor the people that are so precious to you, and the things you believe in. And I want to end with this, so please listen to me. I know what's going on in this world. I understand everything that's happening. But I've got to tell you, I'm going to walk that plank for Jesus Christ. I want you to know, and I have a quote here. He says in 1 John 4:19, We love because he first loved us. That love is so real. In my time here, I almost lost our marriage. I was too much involved in coaching. I had a temper. And the Lord changed all of that. He changed me as a person. He helped me see people differently. I had nothing to do with that. He has everything to do with that. And so as you live your life, if you're you go through those trials, he says, thank you for trials and tribulations, because through those trials I learned patience, and patience, perseverance. And through perseverance I learned godly character. Man, would I like that. And through godly character I get hope, and hope never fails. If you ever want to talk a little bit more about faith, or about faith in Jesus Christ, I would love to talk with you. I thank you, folks, for this time. I thank you, Gettysburg College, for honoring me. But just so you know, folks, today I take this, but man, it's really about everybody I got a chance to work with. Thank you. Amen.